Hannibal Barca was born in Carthage around 247 BC. Carthage was a powerful city-state in North Africa. It was a major rival to Rome. Hannibal's father, Hamilcar Barca, was a famous Carthaginian general. He instilled in young Hannibal a hatred for Rome. Legend says that Hannibal swore an oath of enmity towards Rome at a young age. His father made him promise to fight against the Romans. This event likely shaped Hannibal's destiny. He would grow up to become Rome's greatest adversary. Hannibal learned about warfare and leadership from his father. He accompanied Hamilcar on campaigns in Iberia, which is modern-day Spain. This experience provided invaluable training for the young Hannibal. He quickly proved to be a quick learner and a skilled strategist. Even as a young man, Hannibal showed great promise. He was intelligent, courageous, and a natural leader. These qualities would serve him well when he eventually took command of the Carthaginian army. He would go on to lead Carthage in a bitter struggle against the rising power of Rome. In 229 BC, tragedy struck the Barca family when Hamilcar died while campaigning in Iberia. This left a power vacuum in the Carthaginian army. Hannibal's brother-in-law, Hasdrubal the Fair, took command. Hannibal, still in his early 20s, served under him, gaining more experience. Hasdrubal continued Hamilcar's work, expanding Carthaginian territory and building a power base in Iberia. He proved to be a shrewd leader. However, his assassination in 221 BC thrust young Hannibal into a position of supreme command. Despite his young age, the Carthaginian army quickly recognized Hannibal's talent and charisma. He was a natural leader, and the soldiers were inspired by his father's legacy. With the army firmly behind him, Hannibal prepared to confront Rome. He had a score to settle and would soon make his mark on history. Hannibal's rise to power coincided with a period of growing tension between Carthage and Rome. The First Punic War, fought over control of the island of Sicily, had ended in a Roman victory 2 decades earlier, but resentment lingered on both sides. The city of Saguntum in Iberia would become the flashpoint for the next great conflict. Located on the eastern coast of Iberia, Saguntum was technically outside of Carthaginian control, though it had a treaty with Rome. Hannibal saw the city as a strategic target, and in 219 BC laid siege to it. The siege lasted for 8 months, with the Saguntines putting up a fierce resistance. Finally, Hannibal's forces prevailed, capturing the city. The Romans, outraged by the attack on their ally, declared war on Carthage, thus beginning the Second Punic War. Hannibal, knowing that the Romans would likely attack Carthage by sea, decided on a daring and unprecedented plan. He would take the war to Rome itself. Section 4. Overcoming the Alps. A feat of military prowess. Taking the war to Italy meant crossing the Alps, a formidable mountain range considered almost impassable for a large army. In the spring of 218 BC, Hannibal set out from New Carthage, now known as Cartagena, with a massive army that included war elephants, cavalry, and tens of thousands of soldiers. The journey across the Alps was fraught with danger. The treacherous mountain passes, harsh weather conditions, and attacks from hostile tribesmen took a heavy toll on Hannibal's forces. Food and supplies dwindled, and many men and animals perished in the snow and ice. Despite the hardships, Hannibal's determination never wavered. He rallied his exhausted troops, inspiring them with his own courage and resolve. After a grueling 15-day trek, Hannibal and his battered but undefeated army emerged from the Alps, ready to face the might of Rome on Italian soil. Section 5. Victories in Italy, Trebia, Trasimene, and the masterstroke at Cannae. Hannibal's arrival in Italy shocked the Romans, who had not anticipated such a bold move. They hastily mobilized their forces to confront the Carthaginian threat. The two armies first clashed at the Battle of Trebia in December 218 BC, where Hannibal's superior tactics and cunning use of the terrain led to a decisive Carthaginian victory. The following spring, Hannibal again outmaneuvered the Romans at the Battle of Lake Trasimene. He lured the Roman army into a trap, ambushing them in a narrow valley between the lake and the surrounding hills, resulting in a crushing Roman defeat. Hannibal's greatest triumph came in 216 BC at the Battle of Cannae. Facing a much larger Roman army, Hannibal used a brilliant tactical maneuver to encircle and annihilate the Roman legions, inflicting one of the worst defeats in Roman history. Cannae cemented Hannibal's reputation as a brilliant military commander and struck fear into the hearts of the Roman people. Section 6. A legacy forged in battle. Hannibal's enduring impact. Despite his stunning victories, Hannibal was unable to deliver the decisive blow that would bring Rome to its knees. The Romans, though shaken, refused to surrender. They adopted a strategy of attrition, avoiding direct confrontations with Hannibal's army and focusing on retaking lost territory. Over the next several years, the war in Italy reached a stalemate. Hannibal's forces, unable to take Rome itself or receive adequate reinforcements from Carthage, gradually weakened. In 203 BC, with the Roman general Scipio Africanus threatening Carthage itself, Hannibal was recalled to Africa to defend his homeland. In 202 BC, Hannibal's forces met Scipio's army at the Battle of Zama, near Carthage. This time, however, fortune favored the Romans. Scipio had learned from Hannibal's tactics and inflicted a decisive defeat on the Carthaginian army. Carthage was forced to surrender, ending the Second Punic War after 17 long years. Though ultimately defeated, Hannibal Barca left an indelible mark on history. His strategic brilliance, tactical genius, and audacity in crossing the Alps have inspired military leaders for centuries. He is remembered as one of the greatest military commanders in history, and his legacy continues to fascinate and inspire to this day. Like and subscribe Emgotvhistory Warfare for more stories.